Okay, so this video today is about testing or how to come up with a testing strategy for your Google ads, whether you're talking about search ads or you're talking about display network, banner ads. It's all included here on this video. So, and what I'm going to teach you on today's video is my personal method that I actually perfected and used for myself on every single ad that I test now. Particularly focusing, which I'm going to cover mostly on search ad strategy on this video, to get the highest click-through rates possible on every single campaign I work on now, and that I've developed and crafted over the last 7 years or so. Come up with the strategy, and so that you don't also have to go through the same work to come up with a good strategy that'll work basically every time you want to do it, and learn from my mistakes. So anyway, I have a short list here that kind of goes over my strategy. Of course, you can vary from this a little bit. You should still obviously be okay. This is basically, and if you aren't already aware of it, your goal, your search ad testing is always to get the click-through rate up. Because, you know, the mistake a lot of people, newbies, I don't want to say you're a newbie, but a lot of newbies, what they'll try to do is have the ad do the filtering of the traffic for them. In other words, they will just try to run a very sloppy or loose campaign there, and have the ad show for a bunch of different keywords. Some in the places that it should show up for in their market, and some not. And use the ads to then have people self-select whether or not they should get to their site or not. And some people even go to the extent of saying must have lots of money. That does not, basically work, or not effectively to have it be practically applied to in most occasions. So this all assumes that, and this actually should start first. You got the traffic stream down where you're actually getting good quality traffic to your ads. Because if you test your ads before that, then it's gonna, you're going to have to go back and test again, because things will change once this traffic stream is streamlined. And so once you actually got the traffic stream optimized and streamlined where it should be, where you only have profitable people gonna potentially see your ad, your goal is to get the CTR up as high as you can possibly get it. It's not to do, the selling and pre-qualifying the ad like they said. It's to do nothing more to get the user's attention, flag them down, and get them to your site at the highest possible rate you can, as that is directly tied to how much money you're going to make from your campaigns. As the higher the click-through rate you have, the higher the quality score you're going to have, because the click-through rate is a third of the quality score calculation or formula that they come up with to decide the quality score. In other words, what you're going to be paying to get a visitor from that traffic stream, and then ultimately it goes into your ROI. If you automatically cut off half the cost of that same visitor, obviously that makes a huge difference, because you could be at 4-to-1 in terms of return now, and then soon suddenly you're 8-to-1 where you need to be, and then you can scale up the campaign. By the time you scale up the campaign, you're talking about 20 times the amount of profit just for that one action. So if you don't have the ROI that you want, and you are on that 4-to-1 range or 5-to-1 range, this can be what really puts you over the top, just this one action alone. It takes a little bit of work, but the process itself is what I mean. Can actually take you the rest of the way. But you should definitely do this on every single campaign that you run, of course. And I'll start off by saying, if you test one ad, that same general formula should be that one that you use throughout the account, even though you'll have different ad strategies for each category of product or service you have. You should try to learn as much as you can from one ad test and apply it to all your other ads. And think about that as you go through this, because it'll help you get to your end goal as quickly as you can. And then with that, my first thing I wanted to mention on my list is make sure you have a repeatable strategy. So whatever it is, make sure you use it every time, and then when you use it on your account, assuming you just have your single account, you're running it for your personal business there, then stick to the formula. Don't deviate from it. Trust the plan. And then I can give you a plan here that you can actually vary on your own, but if you stick with this plan, 99% sure it should work for your business, because it works for every other business that I dozens of businesses that I use it on now and have used it on. So if you're not new to marketing, you probably heard of the AIDA model of selling and advertising. AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, action. Attention, interest, desire, action. So what I always like to do, and this is a very, very profitable formula, so I work everything. So Google now actually allows you to have like 10 headlines on a search ad. Forget all of that. If you're just throwing dartboard, find a copywriter that knows what they're doing and pay them, because you're going to pay way more than that just in your wasted ad spend. If not, you come up with an extremely good H1 and H2 that you're going to use. In other words, 2 headlines that will follow this model, and you don't need to test all those different headlines. And within that, you can test your different components in these 2 headlines, specifically within the realm of AIDA. Then you're going to have your click-through rates skyrocket upwards to 10%, or in that range, which is going to get your quality score in the 9-10 range, and cut your costs per click by half or even a third from where you start out. Do this effectively. So the attention part of this equation, in terms of the AIDA model, attention and interest is going to be the 2 things that you focus on the initial headline. What gets the user's attention? Hey, stop, look at this. So that ultimately the user is looking at the 4 ads that are on the top of Google, and then you got to get them to look at your ad to have the opportunity at all to even click on your ad. And then from there, then what's going to immediately get their attention so they'll read the rest of the ad? What is it, the big overall idea of what you're offering that's different than the rest of the ads that are there and the rest of the market that you're competing against, and that they can know of and can access? So I'll give you a couple examples here. For attention, for me, 95+% of the time, I would say 99% of the time, I'm just using the keyword there, regurgitating what the user typed in back to them to get the highest click-through rate you can. Now that usually has to be used in conjunction with the SCAG model, is what they call that in the ad industry. So basically you have a keyword for every ad in your ad account, and sometimes that will result in having hundreds of ads. But if you want these kind of quality scores approaching 10 every time, this is what you need to do. Pull out all the stuff. It is worth it if you do it. Just tell you that up front. If you don't have time, make time, because it's going to be the most profitable thing that you can do for your business, let alone anything else that you can work on if you haven't done this yet. Truly. Where you put the keyword in there, and then don't use dynamic keyword insertion. That's garbage. Use a manually written keyword that matches the headline, and then so you have an ad group with 1 keyword or 1 ad, and the ad will initially spit out the keyword that the user types in, because usually when the user gets exactly what they searched for, and your other companies that you're competing against there in the Google ad space don't have that, they're going to just mostly read yours right away. Probably click on yours right away as well. Beyond that, the interest part of the equation, you have so you want to mention something about the quality of what you're selling, the price, and the location. This could be a warranty, a guarantee if you have a product. It could be the price of the product. Shopping ads, the reason why those usually work so well is because you have the product image and the price. It gives the user the key information they need. Not a lot of people put the price in the ad. For some people, they can put in there that they are having something for that specific month, special for that month, which then will change that out for every month, or which will get you for sure about a 2x increase in your click-through rates just from that. Or the location, like specifically in a local business setting, I'm going to put the location specifically because on a local basis, people want to know that you serve their market or that you go to them. And if anything that's obscure in marketing, especially with this, will hurt your ROI and your click-through rates. So if they see what you're offering them what they searched for, but then they don't know if you're local, they may get distracted. But from there, it's just, can you do it? And are you in my area? Which is just a general formula I use almost every single time for a local company. So you can usually start with that if nothing else. Then when you get to the headline 2 part of the ad, which the headline 1 and headline 2 pretty much are the main components that are going to get your click-through rate up on your ad. The rest of the description can help out, but for the most part, it's 90% about getting these 2 things, these 2 headlines right. If you follow this formula, you'll find that out. Desire is the first part in the headline 2 that you're going to have. So they're going to have the first part of the headline for attention, second half of the first headline interest, first half of the second headline is going to be the desire portion. So you're going to have a special offer there. You know, we offer in green, blue, black. We offer free shipping. We'll come pick you up. Something that's actually going to be get them interested enough that they know for sure that they make them feel special if they want to follow through with this. Yeah, you may offer a paint product and you're offering the best warranty in the space. That's all nice and good and everything. But if you tell them that you're going to give them free shipping, this is going to improve this and give them a reason to click right now. And then the last thing is just the action, the call to action. You know, buy now, read now if you're offering a piece of clickbait or, like a white paper or something. So that's a general formula that you follow every time. And then from there, because it's so structured, you can then test very methodically from there to improve and get every one of these 4 items right on your ad. What you're going to do, so you're going to run this ad. If you're not sure what to run, you potentially run in every ad group starting out in a new campaign, 2 or 3 versions of this. What I start with is I always test, very first thing is I test the interest because that's the biggest factor in all of these. And I'll find the highest traffic ad group in a campaign, and then from there, I'll test 2 or 3 different versions of this interest. Sometimes, for some companies, in some markets, you have to test it for yours. It's mentioned in the warranty, the guarantee, like I said. Sometimes it'll be about saying that you have the best reviews on Yelp, 5-star, 100% 5-star reviews on Yelp, that kind of thing. Find out what it is in the scope of quality, price, or location, or if you're not local, basically. What can convey quality or low price, given that what's most important in your market, and you don't know, you can test both of those that are going to get the user's attention and actually reverberate back to them what they think that they care most about in your market as a whole, because you have to kind of lump people together, of course, here. That and then find that out first. Test it out, and then come up with those 3 different ads or whatever, 2 or 3 different ads. Run a split test, just testing the interest portion of your ad in the top traffic ad group. Find out what works. If something wins, you're going to then immediately move that test that you just did in all the rest of your ad groups in that same campaign and potentially all the rest of your account. Then from there, what I always like to do is because a lot of times, because you have 1 keyword per ad group, some keywords, mentioning aspect of the quality is going to work. Some it's going to be mentioning the price is going to work. Sometimes mentioning the reviews is going to work. So what I then do will then find out on a keyword by keyword basis which one of these interest items work the best. And then once I find it out, that's the ad that I run in that particular ad group. If I find that 80% are going one way in terms of the 2 or 3 different options there, I'll end all the other ad group tests early and just go to the one, because it takes so long to get enough traffic on some keywords that you'll just never be able to. It's a waste of time waiting to every single ad group has what is called statistical significance. So if you don't know what that is, you can Google that. But you got to have enough data behind your keywords to make educated and mathematical/logical decisions to know for sure what you did worked without miscalculating it or not getting it right. And so with that, I'll usually then test 5, and once I've got something that wins, assuming that I can come up with something else, I'll test this again. And I'll keep testing it until I get, there's 5 times in a row that I can't beat my control. The ad that works the best up to now from there. And then from that point on, going through that process, and if you find something that wins, you go through the other ad groups and you test the interest part of the ad only. This is very important until you get it perfect. From that point in time, test the desire aspect of the ad, which is the second main point that's going to make a big tip things one way or another. Go through the process, start with the top ad group first. If that wins, go to the rest of the ad groups, test ad group by ad group. If 80% of them seem to be winning, just end all the tests in each ad group early, then go back and test in your top ad group again, a different aspect of the desire. Will free shipping work better than, you get 10% off any orders over $100? Or, like I said before, you can say that we, basically, and sometimes, like I said, I'll use the different woods, the cherry, oak, maple, in terms of the furniture that we do with the custom furniture ordering that we do, or for paint, we offer in all these different colors, cool, red, black, orange, which is sometimes, other than the offer itself, seems to work a little bit better than just say what offering them a little incentive, if you will, to click on and to buy from us, and then find out what that is. Then since we're using just pretty much the keyword always works the best for this attention part of the ad, and then you can go in and test the call to action. Now that one's very minimal. It's just the main things that are going to get your results close to the 10% range in click-through rate, which blows everyone else away, considering about 3% is the average, and gets you a quality score near 10 on the scale of 1 to 10 that quality scores come in. Interest is going to be your biggest one, and then desire is a close second. If you get these 2 things right, you will get an ad that will get a click-through rate with this general formula around 10%. And again, this makes a difference doing this and going through all these actions and testing each thing until you lose 5 times in a row here and 5 times in a row that you lose here before you call it quits and call it good enough, and end up with an ad that gets about 10% click-through rate. Could be the difference between a 3-to-1 ROI and an 8-to-1 ROI. Just this one bit of work and actions alone. 10% click-through rate should be your goal on search ads. I didn't mention anything about display advertising. For me, the goal is always to get to a 1% click-through rate on the display ads. Now, banner ads, you can run responsive ads there. For the most part, the concepts are the same if you're using responsive ads. It's a little bit different than the search ads, which I won't get into this video, but the general formula applies in it itself. You'll find a repeatable strategy, go through it, test one aspect of the ad at a time, and only one aspect. Until you get that one aspect right. Don't radically change the whole ad. Just take it from me and take my word for it. That's not the most effective way to go through this. Come up with the best ad you can with this formula, and then go from there. The click-through rate on the display ads affect how much you're paying per click as well, just like the search ads. So if you want display ads to work, a click-through rate of 1% on a display ad can get you a cost per click of 5 cents, literally, versus an ad that gets, the normal 0.025%, it's $1. And display ads, a lot of people neglect them. They don't think they're that profitable. There's lots of good audiences where you can target your competitors' audiences, people that have been to your competitor site specifically. You can watch some of my other videos where I go over how to do that. You can target people who were searching for your product in the last 30 days that were in market and that were going to buy as well. And if you have an ad that has these components on it all together in the ad, and tell them specifically why this month only you're going to get the deal that I'm offering you just by seeing an ad and clicking on it now, therefore, to click on it now and not procrastinate, which procrastination is the big killer, you can get an ad that gets a 1% click-through rate, get your super cheap 5-10 cent traffic, and you have a real chance of getting your 8 to 1 to 10 to 1 ROI that I routinely get on these ads. The ads have to be done really well and make sure to hit on the same AIDA model, and then it just goes through the same process again. Even if you do get something that gets a 0.75% or 0.5% click-through rate, you can go through and test each one of these components, starting here, here, and here, the same way that I mentioned to do it with the search ad. The click-through rate's going to rise, and eventually we'll get close to that 1% mark. For the most part, for me, that it took, or should I say that it takes to actually get an ROI from a display ad, because it's not easy, and that's why most people say it doesn't work, because they don't have good ad copywriting skills and or a methodology to actually come up with an ad that is on a proven formula and that it works, generally has worked offline for advertising for decades, that you can apply to this online stuff and cut out most of the getting to figuring out what works and just going to the proven methods that have always worked and that I can tell you work for the hundreds, literally, of campaigns that I've worked on, both search campaigns and display campaigns as well. So anyway, there you have it. That's how I personally test ads in order to develop, and built up many campaigns from 0 to 100 grand a month in ad spend, one step at a time, starting, getting results, testing things out, finding an ad that works, raising the ad spend, recycling the profit back into the ads, going up again. I have a lot of other videos like this on YouTube. I have a blog on my website that has money-making strategies as it pertains to PPC there. It's the best blog that I know of on the web in terms of making money with PPC ads and strategies that revolve around that particular topic. But I appreciate your time watching this video. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions about how to test your ads or ads that you're testing, go ahead and leave a comment. Potentially I'll be able to offer you a little bit of free advice, or just you can come to our website and ask about a free audit from my firm as well. Potentially we can do that for you as well.